So if you're kicking her out because she won't pay rent, you can't do that under the Ipsy City ordinance because she doesn't have to pay rent because you don't have a certificate of compliance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Angela Chin here.
Yep. All right, thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Janelle Smith.
All right. And where are we on this? This is a termination case.
Correct, Your Honor.
The basis for the termination is
Basis of the termination is lease agreement has ended, and also, there's the tenant has been having problems being able to pay for rent, and she has like 2 years worth of rent payment and utilities that has accrued.
so is the lease ended?
I never had a lease with her, and the whole thing was back in September. I had a fire at the house. The fire department came out, and the city ended up saying that the house was uninhabitable because the toilet fell through. Angela let me stay there for free, but what happened was when the fire department came out and they saw that the toilet was falling through, that the fire was in the wall, her father, which we were on the call last week, got upset about it, and the city came out and said that the house I couldn't live there. So that's what the situation is with this.
And may I add on to this? We've tried to work with Janelle to try and find a time for maintenance. And we've done a lot of maintenance, and we're actually actively working with the city. But however, because she hasn't been very cooperative, she hasn't.
Before we dive in, just a quick note. This commentary is created for educational purposes, designed to help those who may be confused or curious about courtroom processes. If you don't find it helpful, feel free to skip ahead. But for those who want a deeper understanding, stay tuned. It's about to get intense. Now, what we're looking at here is a landlord-tenant dispute that's already raising red flags. We've got claims of unpaid rent stacking up for 2 years, but there's a twist. Questions about whether rent was even legally owed in the first place. Add in a fire-damaged property, possible illegal housing conditions, and a missing certificate of compliance, and suddenly this isn't just about eviction. It's about whether the landlord may have been violating the law all along. Keep your eyes on this one, because the judge is about to dig deep, and things are going to escalate fast.
Really responding to my text on I asked her what is her availability, can I provide contractors to come in. She never really replied back to me, and I have text messages and screenshots to show that case.
First thing is I guess my first question is the house registered with the city to rent?
So I gave.
Hold on. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Chen?
Yes, we are actively working with the city, and we got approval with the city last year. And everything was last year or 2 years ago.
Does it have a current valid certificate of compliance?
Not currently. We're working with the city to but because of the repairs that Janelle mentioned, that we need to fix the subflooring on the toilet. That was one of the biggest issue. But because we can't have access to the premise, and my father has been a lot of the.
I don't know who can't. I mean, there are ways of getting access to the premises, even if he disagrees to get access. So I'm not sure.
That was not what happened. He came in, he changed the locks.
Who changed the lock?
Her father. The city came out.
When?
This happened in December. I submitted all the paperwork from the city and everything, how he came out.
Yeah, that's fine. But
came out.
He came
and he removed my things.
He was?
And he removed my belongings.
May I interject, Your Honor? During that time, this is an emergency situation. We had to have the boiler is out, and we had to have. There was no heat in the house, and this is back in November. And I could give you the specific dates. I've let Janelle know beforehand that my father was going to be on premise. I gave her a 24-hour heads up and let her knew. And she knows that it is like
Ma'am, I'm just gonna stop you. Were the locks changed?
the locks, like my father mentioned that there were no access to the premise, and so and he
I don't
can't.
know what that means. Did he change the locks?
He did, yes, correct. From my understanding,
Why?
but because he couldn't get in the premise, but he did provide Janelle with the key, the new key.
Did he give you a key?
No, what happened was the police came because he showed up unannounced. I came home. He pushed me out the house. The police came and he changed the locks and they made him take the lock off and put the initial lock back on. That's what happened when the police came.
But we never have access to like we're not able to have access to do any repairs in this case. And he did tell the police that he was going to give the keys to you, right, Janelle?
No, they made him the city guy was in a police and they made him put the original lock back on.
All right. Um, so are you requesting a money judgment in this case?
In this case, I would love to just have a, a motion to evict the tenant.
Because you requested a money judgment on this case, and there's going to be a huge problem with that. The other question is, I guess,
Yes, I did. We like request a money judgment because I've always been like in contact with Janelle. I always provide a clear payment ledger with her during that time, and all those are forwarded through email.
so, ma'am, did you file this complaint?
My father and I, yes, we filed the complaint.
Okay. And that's David, is your
Correct.
father?
That's right. My father's name is David.
Who owns the property?
I own the property,
Yeah.
but recently we just filed to in a joint ownership on the property.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure recently because he got called out last week. Um, I'm concerned about some of the allegations that are made in here. There was a lease,
Mhm. That lease was
and the lease has expired.
I
correct.
never I
20,
never had a lease.
no, Janelle, you have a copy.
So
It's
what
back
happened
in
was
2023. It is in your email.
In 2023 that went through 2024.
Correct. You can refer back to your email, Janelle. This was
came out and did an inspection and said that the
When
house was
did they do the inspection?
they came back in September. They came in December, and what they said was
December of
2025, like December 9th or 10th. And what they said was they were like, everyone needs to be on the same lease. What her father told us was that we all have to say that we're related. Everyone, because it was a rooming house, and they said it was an illegal rooming house.
Oh my God. Are you
Because
kidding me?
it's
So
not zoned for that. And I put that in.
no, I saw that, but so how many people were renting this place?
There were 6.
No,
Is that right, Miss Chen?
no, there isn't that many people. There's right now three other people living there.
Mm,
Yes, I can. Yes, it is.
But it's your certificate was for a single family dwelling, right?
Uh, when I had the certificate, I used to live on premise, and it was like
Oh, but
but
you
yes,
lived
it's
on the
now it's
premises. Okay.
yes.
So that I get.
But then it was, but now because I'm no longer, yes, you're right. We have to be a single family home.
Right. Because you're not on the premises. I get
Correct.
that.
Yes.
So when did you leave the premises? Jeez.
So this was like around 2020.
Okay.
That's incorrect. I moved in September of 2019. She did not live there. I lived with 4 or 5 other people.
Well, I don't. If she says she was residing there, I'm not going to go back that far. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter because at some point she moves out. When she moves out, that's when the character of the premises change, and it has to be something different once she leaves. So whether she was there or not in 19, it's irrelevant, quite frankly, for what I have here. But
and we've been very generous to Janelle. We've let her stay there due to, I know she had a lot of hardships with like, trying to get financial aid and having.
ma'am, well, there's one thing in being generous, and there's also another thing in saying you can stay here, but I'm not going to follow the law. That those are very different things, and I'm not saying they're mutually exclusive, but they are very different things. And the question is from the court standpoint, is you're terminating her tenancy. Are there other people still residing in the place?
Yes.
I'm open to terminating everyone's tenancy, but yes, there
You can
is.
go ahead and do
They
that.
are.
I'm
work
trying to
with-
figure out, ma'am, why, if I have a group of people living on the premises and or at some point would have been informed by the city that it's a single family dwelling, why I have one
Correct,
case
and
for one tenant?
you are right. We are, currently we never changed back to a single family dwelling in which, and the lease has been.
Yeah, but I get that. My question is why is this defendant here, but the others that are there not?
You they are so from they are allowed on the premise.
They being whom? These other tenants?
These are the tenants.
What do you mean they're allowed on the premise?
They are we have permission for them to live there.
From whom?
Oh, from me.
No. Let me try this again. A house is supposed to be a single family dwelling.
Yes.
The individuals, as I'm to understand it, are not a single family. You have basically rooms or that are being rented.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have no certificate of compliance.
Not for this year.
Right. And then, for whatever the reason, Miss Smith is brought before the court for a termination of her lease or a termination of her tenancy.
Yes, correct.
And I'm trying to figure out why her.
This right here is the heart of the case, and the judge makes it crystal clear. Without a valid certificate of compliance, the landlord legally cannot charge rent, which completely undermines the eviction claim based on non-payment. That means the entire foundation of this case is shaky at best. On top of that, allegations of illegal lock changes, potential zoning violations, and multiple tenants in what should be a single-family dwelling only deepen the legal trouble. The judge's decision to push this into a settlement conference signals that this case could unravel even further, possibly exposing serious consequences for the landlord. So now the big question is, who's really in the wrong here? Was this a misunderstanding that spiraled out of control, or a case of knowingly bending the rules? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
And not the others.
The others have consistently, paying me, we have a rent arrangement with the other tenant, and they have been paying.
Okay, so maybe you really need to get an attorney,
Mhm.
because under the Ipsy City ordinance as well as state law, if you don't have a certificate of compliance, you can't charge rent.
I understand, and we're working towards the compliance aspect and trying to get.
Okay,
this
ma'am,
possible.
I'm gonna let you know this. So here's what I'm gonna do. Because everybody's saying these things, and I understand you say you understand, but I don't think you do understand. You guys could be in a whole lot of trouble, especially for the changing of the locks and the moving of her items from a place that she has. Could be in a lot of trouble because you're renting but evicting her, and you don't have a certificate of occupancy. And the reason that you're evicting her in great part is because she's not paying her rent, but she's under no obligation if you don't have a certificate of compliance. And so I'm going to set this for a final settlement conference. Give me a day.
February 10th.
I'll set it. No, that's right. February 10th, 2026, 9 a.m. That is an in-person proceeding. There will be no appearances via Zoom. Everybody's going to have to be here. They're going to look me in the eyes and tell me what happened.
All right, thank
Because
you.
I'm not, there's something's real wrong here. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Terrace staff. Hello. What's your name?
I'm Tara Stafford. Carol Stafford is deceased.
Yes, that's you did tell me that. Okay. Yes, good. All right. And where are we on this case? You were supposed to pay. Go ahead.
I've got her at 421642.
421642. So she did what she told me. She was gonna pay 2,000. You did that, didn't you? All right. How are you gonna get the rest of this paid off, lady?
I can give them 1,500 today. I was waiting to see if DHS is going to give me approval for an SCR. I haven't heard back from my caseworker, but I'm just asking until the end of the
Okay,
month.
hold on.
Oh, okay.
You're all right. You got 1,500 today that you can get them. That's gonna bring you down. It will. And you're waiting on an SCR. And how many people are in your house?
Between that and my 3 dysfunctional children is 4.
There's 4
Yeah.
of you. All right. So just so that you know, even if you got the max award on that, it's only about $740.
That's fine. So I was fired in FMLA and I finally got my job back. So I'm back. As you can see, I'm back at work.
I'll be able to pay it in full. Even if they don't give it to me, I'm going to pay it.
All right. Let me ask you this. All right. When people follow through on what they say, then I give them try to give them a break. You see when people don't follow through that's a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
So you get paid bi-weekly or
Weekly.
weekly?
Yeah.
All right. So you got 1,500 that you can give them today.
Yeah.
That's from this check on the 16th, right? Yeah. Basically. Okay. So on the 23rd, what can you?
Hopefully the rest of it. I've been working overtime, so
What'd you say?
been working overtime, so.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. Are you all right? Come on. What's wrong?
Thank you. Fine. It's grief.
It's what?
It's grief.
Grief. Okay. All right. Let's do this. I sometimes can't help soothe that, but we can try to work through this and maybe lighten the burden another way. How about that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm fine.
I know. Yeah. Whenever anybody tells me I'm fine, that means they usually are. Okay. So you can pay 15 today. What about next week? Do you think you can pay the rest of it next week?
Yeah.
And you can, so what time on the 23rd do you think you can get that paid?
By 3:00. I don't get off work till 2:00. So
You don't get off work. When are there?
2:00.
At 2. You get off. Okay. Right. We're gonna end up doing this over the objection of plaintiff because you did what you said you were gonna do. And I think you'll get this done. I'm gonna mark in the file that you're gonna pay $1,500 today. And then the balance you're gonna pay by the 23rd. I'm gonna adjourn this out to the 30th date. I'm gonna give you a chance to get it. All right.
All right. Thank you.
And that will be January 30th at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. So get it paid on the 23rd because then that way, what can happen is in that week they could file a dismissal.
Okay. Got it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Yep.
You gonna be all right? Are you out there driving?
Who, me?
Yeah, right now.
Sort of. I mean, I
don't want you out there driving if you're gonna be all over the place.
Oh, listen, it's cold outside. I'll be fine as soon as that cold air.
She looked at Jim and said, look, listen. It's just all right. Maybe you have a blessed weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Style Farms versus Derek Wanson, Sean. And Elizabeth Wanson. I almost left out the brain trust. Your names?
Elizabeth Wanton.
Derek Wanson. Okay. And where are we on their case?
Your Honor, they made a payment of $400 and the total with cost is $2,834.33.
Have you heard back from Hawk yet?
We did call them and they wanted us to do the SCR first. To see if we get a letter of denial or they want that first before they can do. They said their funds were limited or something.
Yeah, I know, but how many people are in your house?
4.
So that'd be the 740 again, that it could be a part of it, but if you're max, did you put the SER in?
Yes, it's still pending. We haven't heard back yet.
Did they give you an appointment or anything?
For Hawk?
Yeah.
Or no, not until we hear back or from the SDR. Yeah.
I'm about to scream, but I won't. When did you put your SCR in? Beginning of the month?
Beginning of the month. Yeah.
The beginning of this month?
Yeah.
So it should be coming back. It's not supposed to take that long. And so let me ask you this. Your understanding is once you hear about the SCR, then what's going to happen?
Well, if we get a denial from that, then they said they would be able to step in or try to step in and do something when they get that.
Pete's sakes. All right, guys. Is there anything you guys are going to be able to pay between now and next week during the sale?
Not next week. We can do $500 ourselves on the 28th.
Okay.
I'm sorry, was that 500 on the 28th?
Yeah, they can do 500 on the 28th, which would again, I'm going to do this over the objection of plaintiff because I know that there's funding and they're under the 3 right now without the SCR, without any of that. They're under the 3. If you pay the 500, you're definitely under that amount. And that might be helpful. So I'm going to indicate that you're pay on the 28th, you're to pay the 500. I'm going to adjourn this out to the 30th, 2026 at 3 p.m. Okay.
Okay.
Keep in touch with Hawk what you hear from the SCR from the state.
Okay.
Okay. I'm also going to apprise you. Just touch base with your landlord at their office and let them know that if Hawk gives you an appointment, let them know that Hawk gave you an appointment and you're supposed to meet with them at what time. Or if they say that they're going to cover you, let your landlord know right away.
Okay.
Even though you might not have written confirmation, just tell them they say they're going to do this. We don't have written confirmation, but they say they're going to do it.
Okay.
Your Honor, just to add, so the court is aware and so defendants are aware, with the case being adjourned to the 30th and the timing of payments and potentially delays with SER and then Hawk intervening if they do, I can surmise that February rent is going to hit this ledger before there's a verification from Hawk, which means that's going to put them back up over the 3,000. And
Right.
in my experience,
How much is their monthly? Got it. Okay.
Yep, their rent is $9.15, and then they have water and sewer charges metered based on usage, and they're about 150 on the low end each month, but they have been higher than
Okay,
that.
so what they're really going to need. Okay, so here's what you guys need to plan on with what Ms. Dortbush is saying. You could find yourself, if Hawk says we'll pay the maximum amount, you're gonna have about maybe $300, $300 to $400 that you're gonna have to come up with to get down below that if FCR said no.
Okay.
That makes sense to you? That was a
Yeah.
lot there in that. But you follow what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna do that for you, and you and really let the landlord know.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Court calls the case of Cyber Farm versus Alexis Corser.